Your ano is off screen, Beth, the prompter. It's off. Ano, it's not taking the whole screen. It's framed left. There's a space from here to here. I can still read it, but you don't want it to take the whole space. No, the other way. Going the other way. Going the other way pa. Sige pa, sige pa, sige pa. Stop. Stop. Good. Perfect. Okay. Okay, tell me when. Sure. Today on Rappler. Exclusive. Rappler investigates military claims that 2 JI terrorists died in a February attack in Cebu and concludes both are still alive. For the second straight day, Senator judges lash out at a defense witness and the prosecution. And the term "noy-noying" makes it to the Wall Street Journal. Hello, I'm Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network, where stories inspire community engagement and digitally fueled actions for social change. We at Rappler promise uncompromised journalism that hopefully inspires smart conversations and ignites a thirst for change. Last February, the Philippine military claimed it dealt a big blow to terrorism. The military said senior Abu Sayyaf leader Dr. Abu, senior Jamaah Islamiyah leaders Marwan and Muawiyah died in a bomb attack in Sitio Lanao Batu, Cebu. On February 22, Rappler reported the 2 JI leaders are still alive. Last week, Malaysia's chief of counterterrorism told the New York Times that Malaysia had not taken Marwan off its most wanted list because it believed he was still alive. Based on intelligence and military sources from at least 3 different countries, Rappler pieced together the events of the February bombing. Sources told Rappler that the 2 planes used to deliver the bombs, Philippine Air Force OV-10 Broncos, are very noisy and will not fly directly to their target. Instead, the planes circled before dropping their payload. The planes flew in the middle of the night to drop bombs guided by a homing device planted by a military asset. You're seeing here the picture of the kill zone. According to investigators who spoke to Rappler on condition of anonymity, when Marwan and Muawiyah heard the planes, they immediately fled the area. Dr. Abu was older, slower, and when the bombs dropped, he was still putting on his boots. That's how investigators say Marwan and Muawiyah survived. You got that from Rappler exclusive. For the second straight day, Senator judges lash out at a defense witness and the prosecution for allegedly fooling the public. Natasha Gutierrez reports.
I mean, you just cannot say a person owns 45 and you are not sure. And then in an impeachment proceeding, I mean, it's just isn't done.
Frustrated Senator judges lash out at the defense witness and the prosecution. On day 32, the councils of Chief Justice Renato Corona present Land Registration Authority Administrator Eulalio Diaz III, a grade school classmate of President Aquino, who provided the prosecution the list of 45 properties allegedly owned by Corona. Diaz released the list to the prosecution and the media, but it is inaccurate. The defense tells the court that of the list of 45, 17 properties had already been canceled.
Out of the 45, Your Honor, if I may,
Yes,
there
please.
are 17 canceled titles.
So that makes it 28?
And out of the remaining 28, the titles registered under Maria Cristina R. Corona married to Renato Corona, or Renato Corona married to Cristina Corona, Your Honor, would only be around would be 17, Your Honor.
The revelation angers senator judges. They berate the witness for not reading out
Testimony
the
of
list
the
before
witness.
giving it to lead prosecutor Niel
Until I
Tupas,
got-
who had asked for it.
This was given to
And they
us,
scold the
this list.
prosecution for not verifying the list before announcing it in a press conference.
So sabi nyo sa sulat nyo, itong 45 ay registered in their names.
In the names of the registered owners, Your Honor.
Ayun ho ang confusing. Kasi po, this is an impeachment case and lumalabas ho, based on my understanding, ako, and I think I am of average intelligence, it would appear that you were certifying that registered in the name of Corona are these properties.
Siguro next time, before you issue a corresponding letter, siguraduhin nyo na talagang totoong pagmamayari na kung sino man yan. Kung si Chief Justice Corona, sana siguraduhin ninyo na pagmamayari ni Chief Justice Corona yan. Hindi yung, pati yung cancel titles, ilalagay nyo rito sa sulat ninyo. Kaya tuloy, yung perception ng taong bayan, ang perception ko dito, marami palang lupa o ari-arian itong respondent na ito.
Prosecutors say they took the list in good faith, and that's the reason they attached it to the request for subpoena.
I mean, by golly, if we cannot rely on that list on the LRA, which is the government agency tasked with generating the list and is the sole repository of all titles, then it would be difficult to whom else do we go?
Defense counsel say the false list casts doubt on the integrity of the prosecution. They also point out that Tupas asked for the list after the impeachment complaint was filed, which proves the complaint is biased and has no basis.
So maganda hindi paano naka-apekto sa credibility? Siyempre, kasi ganito yan, kung ikaw ay maglalatag ng dokumento, dapat yun ay pinapaniwalaan mo na maayos. At yun ay kinakapitan mo. Yun ay sa tingin mo mapapatunayan mo. Pero at kung mapapatunayan later on na kulang pala o hindi mo pala mapapatunayan, that affects the credibility of the document and not only the bringer of the news.
Corona has declared only 5 properties in his statements of assets, liabilities, and net worth. The defense and the prosecution plan to meet Wednesday morning, March 21, to discuss how many properties the defense has yet to explain to the court. The prosecution and the witness got a beating today from the impeachment court for inaccuracies in their initial list. But it does not save the defense from what it has yet to do, to explain the discrepancies in Corona Sal ends regarding the properties he, in reality, owns. Natasha Gutierrez, Rappler.
As if yesterday was not enough, LRA Administrator Diaz's ordeal went on for the second day. Today, the tongue lashing came from no less than Senator Miriam Defensor Santiago, who tells Diaz that an Ateneo graduate like him should have gone over the list before forwarding it to the prosecution. Let's watch that clip.
You asked. Didn't you ask? Since this was already brewing into a political firestorm, didn't you ask your people? Is there a way we can filter? You were guilty of negligence. Not only of negligence, but of gross negligence. Either you or the prosecution, nobody else. Since this is a physical world and you not belong in the spiritual universe.
Defense counsel Judd Roy III claims the testimony of Land Registration Authority Chief Eulalio Diaz III shows that the impeachment of Chief Justice Corona is politically motivated. Diaz tells the Senate that the list of Chief Justice Renato Corona's alleged 45 properties came from a name search of a test computer system. Diaz says the LRA has stopped using the system after discovering the flaws, but Roy says damage had already been done.
Because can you imagine allocating government funds to create a search engine, etc., and
Just
whatnot?
for that purpose.
And then after that, bigla mong i-withdraw.
For that purpose.
I don't know if it's for that purpose. But that seems to... Bakit ito naging test case? Ang galing naman. Eh, di ba? How fortunate naman for the Chief Justice na siya pa yung napagsampulan itong computer system o...
Noy-noying has gone viral, and even the Wall Street Journal is using the word coined by protesters to describe President Benigno Aquino III's supposed laziness. Wall Street Journal writes, basically, noy-noying involves sitting around staring into space, much like Mr. Aquino supposedly does, instead of running the country, at least according to some of his critics. Protesters recently did noy-noying in front of the Supreme Court and in other venues, Hookway noted. The Wall Street Journal article recalled instances when the president was caught, quote, laughing it up with celebrities in the aftermath of Tropical Storm Sendong. The article goes on to note how noy-noying also taps into old Philippine folktales about Juan Tamad, or Lazy Juan, who manages to get by doing the least amount of work. Aquino spokesman Sonny Coloma had earlier said the criticism is unfair, saying the president's effort to reduce disaster risk and mitigate climate change is quote-unquote robust. Well, Prince William's wife, Catherine, conquered her nerves and gave a passing performance in her first public speech as a member of the royal family. Looking confident despite sounding a little apprehensive, she paid tribute to the staff and volunteers who are helping children with life-threatening conditions at a center in eastern England. Catherine confessed to one well-wisher after the address, quote, "I find doing speeches nerve-wracking." The 30-year-old Duchess of Cambridge, formerly known as Kate Middleton, seemed to have memorized the speech, glancing at her notes only occasionally.
I'm only sorry that William can't be here today. He would love it here. A view of his that I share is that through teamwork so much can be achieved. For many, this is a home from home, a lifeline, enabling families to live as normally as possible during a very precious period of time.
Scientists are developing a robotic jellyfish which uses the limitless energy of seawater to power its movement. Robo-Jelly mimics the action of the jellyfish. The robot's body is made of 8 segments of shaped metal alloy coated with a platinum black powder which reacts with the oxygen and hydrogen, components of seawater, to create heat. The heat travels to the robot's artificial muscles, causing them to contract and eject the water. Scientists say this is the first time an underwater robot was powered using external hydrogen as a power source. Well, let's take a look at it. Here on the mood meter, you can see mood meter says 50% amused, 25% inspired, and 25% afraid. Well, that's it for Rappler, our wrap for today, March 21. Visit Rappler.com and tell us how you feel on our mood meter. I'm Maria Ressa. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today. You left me hanging on that last sentence, Miss Prompter.